Hello, everyone. My name is Chase Urquhart. I am a digital marketer at Kyoki Media Marketing in Sandpoint, Idaho. And today I'm going to be talking to you about Facebook for Contractors, how to build your digital foundation. So first off, I want to explain the power of Facebook. Facebook has 2.5 billion active users across the globe today. 69% of US adults say they use Facebook. 74% of Facebook users visit the site daily. The average user spends 38 minutes a day on Facebook. Facebook raised $20.7 billion in ad revenue in quarter four of 2019. And most importantly, they have all of our data. So in order to understand the power of Facebook a little bit more, I put together somewhat of a personal case study. Back in October, as I was scrolling through my Facebook newsfeed, I came across this ad. First thing that caught my eye was a bunch of good-looking flannels that I could see myself wearing. And the next thing that caught my eye was the headline there at the bottom. It says 4 comfy flannels for $40. I liked what I was seeing and I wanted to learn more. So I clicked learn more and it brought me to this page. Again, you can see some more good looking flannels that I thought looked great. And then on the right column here, some more information about the company. Essentially what they are is an online thrift store, resells used clothing like flannels with the idea that you are reducing your carbon footprint by not buying new clothing. So I liked what I was seeing, but I wasn't quite ready to make the purchase and I wanted to learn a little bit more. I bounced around their website a little bit and came across their customer reviews. They had over 600 customer reviews, a lot of them with glowing reviews, such as these 3 listed right here, and even that person there on the right, which purchased the same package that I was looking at buying. Then I went back to their original Facebook ad that I saw, and they had over 500 comments, a lot of customers that had similar questions that I had. And from what I could tell, Goodfair had answered just about every single one of them, which demonstrated to me that they cared a lot about their customer service and making sure that their customers were happy. The last thing I did was I went to their Instagram. I saw that they had just shy of 50,000 followers and even noticed that one of my friends was currently following them, giving them just a little bit more credibility. So I felt like I had seen enough and I was ready to make the purchase. As you can see, there's my receipt right there. Use the discount they gave me in the original Facebook ad. Pretty good price for 4 flannels, I'd say. And then they also sent me another follow-up email that day, essentially describing how I helped reduce my carbon footprint and giving me some more information that made me feel good about my purchase that day. So I've got some good news and I've got some bad news for how this case study relates to you and your Facebook marketing strategy. I'll start with the bad. The bad news is your service is not a $40 purchase. It's very unlikely. In fact, I guarantee you will not get a new customer simply from one Facebook ad. That's just not how it works for contractors. The buyer's journey for your clients is much longer and much more complex. Even if you do manage to get an ad in front of the right customer that fits into your buyer persona, they're going to need a lot of time to think about it. So maybe they see your ad, and then they go and Google your name, they look around your website, they looked at your portfolio, they read about your business, then maybe they go to Houzz, they go to Yelp, they go to Angie's List, they read through all your reviews, and then they'll talk to their friends or family that have done remodeling projects in the past to see if there's other contractors that can fit their needs better. The point being, their journey is a lot more complex than it is for me buying a pack of 4 flannels for $40. But here's the good news. Facebook serves as a key contributor to obtaining qualified leads, and I want it to be for you the main focus, focusing on top of the funnel people. So social media is where you want to find new customers who are at the top of the funnel, or in other words, the awareness stage. If high-end remodeling or custom home building projects is your goal, these decisions will not be made on a whim. But if you reach them consistently via social media, Facebook and Instagram and so on, you can move them into the consideration stage with your company top of the mind. So maybe when they do get to the point where they're ready to start talking to contractors, it's your company's name that they're typing into Google and not just searching around. Another good thing, the targeting capabilities are extremely powerful and borderline creepy, as I'm sure a lot of you have experienced in your Facebook news feed scrolling. And we'll get a little bit more into that at the later end of this presentation. And the last thing I'll touch on is that it's the lowest cost to reach new people. Facebook is an extremely powerful tool that lets you reach a very targeted audience for a very low price. It was built with small businesses in mind, and I'll talk about that here a little bit more later on. So let's talk about strategy. And first, we're going to talk about organic reach. Organic reach is simply defined as posting on your Facebook business page without boosting it or putting any money behind it, just simply free organic reach. So typically, this will be the people that are already following or like your page currently, or if they share it, the people that are connected to them. So here's what you need to know about organic reach. Organic reach is dying very quickly. There's more competition. There's a preference given to advertisers on news feeds. And there have been changes to the algorithm over the last couple of years, which are highlighted by this quote from Mark Zuckerberg in 2018. He said, recently, we've gotten feedback from our community that public content, posts from businesses, brands, and media, is crowding out the personal moments that lead us to connect more with each other. So unfortunately for you, that means news feeds are optimized to show posts from friends, family, groups, and of course, paid advertisers. So was this an act of good faith on Facebook's part to bring us closer together with friends and family? Or was it simply a ploy to get more advertising revenue? I tend to lean towards the latter. So pay to play. What does that mean for you? It means that in order to get your content in front of your customers, you have two options. You can boost quality, engaging content in the right formats to the right people, or the second is you can create ads within the Facebook Business Manager. I'm going to talk about the first of those two options today because it's easy to set up and it's something that you can start implementing today. And of course, Facebook doesn't care whether you like the fact that organic reach is dying quickly and you're likely going to have to pay to play because you're going to have to use it nonetheless. So to boost or not to boost, we just got done talking about how organic reach is dying and that pay to play is the new norm for Facebook advertising. So you're probably thinking it's tempting to boost every single post. My advice to you would be to not do this. I would ask you to use your judgment before boosting a post. Ask yourself, would a new customer care about this if they saw it on their newsfeed? Would they be inclined to learn more about my business if they saw this? Remember, it's quality over quantity on social media now more than ever. Every single contractor in your area is probably using Facebook by now, as are all the other businesses in your area. People are getting drowned out with ads, posts from other businesses. So if you really want to stand out, you want to focus on high quality content that your audience will find engaging and will be memorable for them. So what is this high engaging content and what performs the best on Facebook? The best performing content is photos, typically more than one, and videos. And it's photos and videos of happy clients. It's before and afters of your projects. It's finished projects. It's projects in progress. It's different polls and it's different design questions. And I'm going to show you a couple examples to give you a good idea. So here's a good example, one of my favorites. As you can see, it says at the top there, the start to another fun adventure. So it's 3 pictures. The first one at the top there is a picture of a couple of very happy looking clients toasting some champagne as their custom home is just getting underway behind them. And then in the bottom left picture, you can see those happy customers again with their contractors taking the time to celebrate this special moment. Now, to me, this demonstrates how much the contractor is emphasizing the customer experience and taking the time to soak up these very special moments and soaking up this time in the custom home building process. It was got a lot of engagement on Facebook. This is the type of stuff that performs very well. Now, obviously, this particular situation will not happen very often for you, but I would recommend that you take advantage of it when it does. Another example here is a before and after. Before and afters are pretty self-explanatory for why they perform well, because people love a good transformation, especially on Facebook. They want to see your work and how you can fix their pain points. Now, I called this out in my presentation because I work with a lot of contractors that will pay a lot of money for photography afterwards, which I think is awesome and great and something you should be doing. But a lot of times they'll forget the before picture, which I think is equally important. Now, you don't have to get a professional photographer to take your before pictures, but I would recommend that you have whoever has the best iPhone or smartphone camera on your team and get them to take a shot that can be similar to the one you see here on the left. just to give potential customers and clients what you're working with and what you were able to turn into. Like I said, people like a good transformation. The next example here, just a couple of videos. The one on the left is some drone footage. Now, obviously, a lot of you will not have access to a drone, and I don't think it's necessary. But if you've got it, use it because it provides great, engaging Facebook content. And then the one on the right here, it says the invention of the jackhammer was groundbreaking. It's good to keep it light, throw in a little bit of humor. Not everything has to be serious or business based. People come to social media for a laugh and to escape. So providing them with a good laugh will help your business stand out amongst the crowd. So now that we've talked about content a little bit, I want to talk about audiences because I believe this is equally important as the content. So how do you choose the right audience? As mentioned earlier, Facebook knows everything about you, but more importantly, they know everything about your clients. Always create your audiences within the Facebook Business Manager. The Business Manager gives you more targeting options, and more targeting options will give you better results and more bang for your buck. You'll want to use Facebook's custom audience and lookalike audience tools to your advantage, which I will talk about here. So within the Facebook Business Manager, this is what the audience creation tool looks like. And to get started, you're simply going to press that Create Audience button located at the top left corner. You click Custom Audience, it'll bring you here. These are the different types of custom audiences you can create. You can use your website as a source. You can use a customer list. So maybe a Microsoft Excel CSV file of all your current customers. You can create them based off your Facebook page, people that have engaged with it, your different videos, and so on. But for today's presentation, I'm just going to focus on using the website and Facebook page as your source because those are the two sources I typically use the most for contractors. We'll talk about that a little bit more in detail here. So first off, using your website as your source. The first thing you need to know is that you must have the Facebook pixel installed on your website to use this as a source. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the Facebook pixel is essentially a piece of tracking code that lets you track how people are interacting with your website, and then again to target those people later on with Facebook ads. So it's best for targeting people who have visited your website, and that typically means that these are warmer customers. They had to take a certain action. It's showing some kind of level of higher intent to visit your website. Maybe they browsed around a couple of pictures in your portfolio, or they looked at your different services and so on, and you would then want to target them again with an ad on Facebook. So you can create audiences based off all your web visitors. You can create one based off people who visited specific web pages. And then you can create audiences based off visitors by time spent. And you can do it in the past 120 days is the highest you can go. So next, creating a custom audience using your Facebook page as a source. You can create audiences based off everyone who has engaged with your Facebook page. You can get more specific with anyone who visited your page, people who engage with any post or ad, people who click the call to action button, people who send a message to your page, and people who save your page or any post. This is a great one to use if you don't have a lot of website traffic because it provides an easier way to create a larger audience quicker. So this is what I typically start off with contractors. Now, for simply boosting posts on Facebook, I would recommend that you stay away from only using a custom audience as your source. What I would recommend is that you use a lookalike audience, and I'll show you how those custom audiences will come into play. So what is a lookalike audience? A lookalike audience finds Facebook users and potential clients who, quote, look alike your previous clients or custom audiences. So Facebook will identify the demographics, behaviors, and interests of the source you choose and find new users who share those same qualities. So this allows you to find new customers who are the most similar to people you've worked with in the past or who have expressed interest in you. So you could create a lookalike audience based off all of the people that you've worked with in the past. If you have their first name, last name, and email address, you would simply upload that customer list to Facebook in a CSV file. And as long as it has at least 100 people that Facebook can then match and identify on Facebook, you can create a lookalike audience based off those people. And obviously the benefit of that would be that these are people that have already worked with you in the past. and you want to find people who are most similar to those. And Facebook does an incredible job of finding people on Facebook who share the same characteristics of whatever source you provided them. And that's actually how Goodfair found me, which is the example that I showed you at the beginning. So again, within the audience creation tool, in that same place I showed you before, you'll simply, instead of saying select a lookalike audience, you'll create a lookalike, or a custom audience. You'll select a lookalike audience, and it will bring you here. So first, you select your lookalike source. So like I said, this could be a CSV file of your past customers, or maybe, for instance, you want to use your website as your source, and you'll create a lookalike source based off everyone who has visited your custom home services page, or maybe your kitchen remodeling service page. Or maybe, for instance, you want to do it by everyone who's visited your contact page in the last 90 days. Just pick whatever source is most relevant to the audience that you're trying to target moving forward. Which group of people do you want to identify as a similar kind of audience for people you're trying to target in the future? Next, you'll select an audience location. For there, it's simply just going to be the United States. It doesn't get any lower than that, but you can change it to your specific service area once you actually create the ad itself. The next thing you want to do is select the audience size. I would recommend staying to 1%. This finds the group of people that are the most specific to whatever source you provide, and I would recommend that you keep it to that. So I want to show you an example of how I use a custom audience and a lookalike audience in a more practical way, and kind of walk you through how I did it. So here was my original post. On the left, it says, according to the AARP, 87% of adults ages 65 and up want to stay in their current home and community as they age. Among people ages 50 to 64, 71% of people want to age in place. So as you can see, kind of the main theme of this is aging in place and focusing on an older demographic. And then it goes on to say the importance of staying connected in one's community is paramount to a healthy life, especially as you get older. Jackson Design Build is proud to serve as an expert in universal design, making it easier for families to age in place. So establishing yourself as a solution to this problem of wanting to age in place, and then providing pictures of no threshold showers and different work you've done in the past to highlight how you can help and solve someone's need. So first, what I did is I first created a custom audience using my website as a source. And the custom audience was created based off people that had visited my home, or the Jackson Design Build's home remodeling service page. So that was my custom audience. It was relatively low, 100 to 300 people in the time frame I chose. But what I then did was I created a lookalike audience based on that custom audience. So I wanted to find the people in their service area who were the most similar to those who were already visiting their service page and already showed a high intent. So next, if you move down, locations, that is the geographic location in which they have designated they want to serve in the Denver metro area. So this is where you want to make sure that you put in the area that you want to make sure. You don't want to be showing your ad to places that you're not willing to serve. So make sure that you put that area there. And then, of course, you can see on the age, I did 50 and 65 plus, because that is the age group that I want to mainly focus on with this post, and the specific ones that I called out in the post itself, all gender, and then nothing, you don't need to do anything beyond that. The audience is created. As you can see, the potential reach is 180,000 people in their area. So it's a pretty wide net, allows you to reach a lot of people, but this is the top amount of people, the top 1% of people who are the most similar to the audience that I selected. So as you can see, the results turned out pretty good, had a relevance score of 10, and a higher relevance score essentially means that your audience found whatever you were presenting to them or advertising to them was valuable. So I had a high engagement rate, a high click-through rate, and so on. Facebook ideally wants to reward advertisers that present the most relevant content, especially if you are going to pay money to show up on someone's newsfeed. So making sure that your advertisement or your boosted post is relevant to your target audience, which was my goal, and specifically targeting 50 and older people, then it will allow you to reach more people for a lesser price. So a few takeaways before we wrap things up today, a couple things to remember. Like I just got done talking about, boost with intention. You don't have to boost every single one of your posts on Facebook. Just make sure that you have an audience in mind and know who you're trying to reach. Because if you have a really tightly defined audience, you're gonna be able to reach more people because Facebook, like I said, rewards advertisers who provide relevant content to their target audience. And you don't need to put more than $10 to $20 on each boosted post. I've seen that this allows you to reach, 1,000 to 3,000 people pretty easily, which is a pretty large amount, especially for how targeted it can be. Again, just got talking about know what audience you're trying to reach. One thing I like to call out to Facebook is just one piece of the puzzle, but it's a really big one. This can really help you in finding new people for a really low cost. The targeting capabilities are extremely powerful. And like I said, it can help you nudge people that may be more at the top of the funnel into the awareness stage. So when they are ready to hire a remodeling contractor or a custom home builder, it's your name that they're typing into Google or Bing, rather than just starting the search from scratch. These social signals give potential customers the confidence in your brand. As I showed you with the example with Goodfair, I really made that purchase because I looked around at Facebook, I looked at their customer reviews, I looked at Instagram, and from what I could tell, they had a strong base of loyal customers, and that's what ultimately convinced me to make that purchase more than anything. So thank you for watching this video presentation today, and again, happy Facebooking.